11, let's see what time it is here in Aswan. It's 11:27 a.m. here in Aswan. We're Philae Temple. But since we've been doing these posts and since people have been seeing the pictures and from what we're doing here on the channel, a lot of people have been asking, how can I travel? What can I do? How can I make this happen? It's something that we're going to be offering a couple different things. You know, there's an old saying that if you eat an elephant, which I'd never want to do, but if you eat an elephant, you do it bite by bite. And so one of the things with the tours that we curate for Maximum Impact or with our travel partners, these are not low budget trips. We're not catering to a low budget, when I say that meaning a cheap experience. So we hire quality across the board in order for you to have an experience. So we're not just doing, some people look at travel from a trip eye. We create it through an experience eye. And so with that, our trips fall right in the middle. You know, you have your ultra expensive and then you have your ultra cheap, and we come right in the middle. So some people are saying, well, okay, I look at the lump sum total and you know that overwhelms me a little bit. What can you do? So one thing we offer is interest-free, an interest-free payment plan. So that's one thing where if you say you want to go in 2023 or 2024, or however you want to do it, we can set it up in a way where you can do the payment plans. The other thing that we're going to be offering soon is travel subscriptions. So let's say, for example, you know you want to travel with us and you just don't know when you want to do it. And you want to be able to put money aside, have it in an account, and know that when it's time for you to go travel, that money's already been dedicated to that, and you want to set it up on a monthly basis, and you want to do it automatically. So you know, if you're saving for a trip, okay, you know, you may want to go to Senegal, you may want to go to Egypt, you may want to go to Ethiopia, you may want to do Kenya, Zanzibar, Tanzania, or Ghana, or South Africa. You just don't know yet, but you want to make sure that it's in place, and all you have to do is, you know, dedicate the funds to it or indicate which trip, and you already have the credit there. So we're going to be offering the subscription option, and then we're going to be offering our referral and affiliate option. So if you have family and friends that you want to bring, then you can get credit for that, and that's financial credit, which will make it to where you could end up with a free trip just based on your sphere of influence and the people that you decide that you want to bring. We want to make sure that we offer this and make it as easy as possible for people, simply because many want to come, but they don't see how they can make it happen. And it can happen if you break it down into smaller bites. Let's say you want to come in 2024. Even if it's 2 years from now and you break the trip down into smaller bites, it can happen. And I used it, I'm gonna stop using the word trip, because it's not a trip. These people are having life-changing experiences on different levels. You know, it's not just about the Black History component. Sometimes it's just about getting outside of that everyday rat race and doing something different, and not just going to the same places that everybody goes to, but going to places that expand the mind in different ways, and having people who can lead you on a journey, because that's the other thing. When you have people who understand exactly how to curate a trip and where to go and where not to go, and understand your culture and how to blend the cultures together, and respecting both sides, you know, there's a value that comes with that, where, you know, especially for first timers, if you have a good first time experience, then you're willing to come and do it over and over and over again. And so we've had 3 people on this particular experience where they were in Ghana with me last week, and then now here they're with me in Egypt. Now, just to be clear, you know, obviously as this grows and expands, I'm not going to be able to be on every tour, you know, but the team that we have in place, a couple of weeks ago, I was in Egypt with a tour, and we had a tour going on at the same time in Ghana, and the same response was there, because we put the time and effort and energy into making sure that the quality that we bring represents exactly what it is, the money that you're spending, and what you're looking for as far as the value. And so we're committed to this and committed to making sure that your experience is first and foremost our priority. And we look to build this relationship with you so that you can go to many countries, whether it's in South America, when we do our London tour, you'll be a part of that, of course, all throughout Africa. And the other part of it is that this is not just traveling, it's a travel family. That's what ends up happening. And people want to see each other again. They want to maintain that connection. They want to share these first-time experiences with each other again. If this particular group right here with our partnership with Urban Intellectuals, you see where they were strangers when they came, but now they've become family within this time frame. And that's priceless. And it carries a value. And when we learn how to become a part of those cultures and those communities, it adds value to our lives. And the value, again, is beyond monetary. The value is something that is really unexplainable, because you stop and you say to yourself, wow, I'm not traveling by myself. I have a travel family. This is going to look out for me. If I'm in, if I have a need, I'm not by myself. Somebody's going to make sure that I'm good. And the other thing that I was talking to Gerald Sr. and Gerald Jr., and they were talking about the two different tours that we had. So we had two groups in Ghana on the last tour. So we had our Urban Intellectuals group, and then we had our Maximum Impact group. And then they're here with the Urban Intellectuals group in Egypt. And the one thing that they said is that the people in all the groups all have the same vibe. No drama, nobody's here, acting up. And even the ones that might be on the teetering on acting up, they remember the phrases. So somebody remind them, pack your patience, leave America in America. And everybody, nobody wants to be that person that is the disruptor for somebody else's good time. And plus, when you spend a certain amount of money, you want to have a good time. You don't want any drama. If it's too cheap, you don't care. You know what I'm saying? So some of that is to be able to what's the word? Encourage those who want to be around other people who want to have a good time and get the most out of the experience. And discourage those who may not have that same mindset. So that's the one thing. If you're making that investment, we're intentional about reaching people who want to have a good time and get the most out of the experience. So those are the different ways that you can do it. You plan it little by little. If it takes you 2 years to come, fine. If you want to be a part of the subscription and you pay monthly and you build it up that way, then you can do that. A lot of people are just paying outright. They have disposable income, and they say, look, it's worth it for me to invest into myself. I've raised everybody, I've done for everybody else, and now it's time for me to do for myself. And that's what's happening. You have people doing it. We have the age ranges from 93 to 3 years old to 93 in all the groups that we've had. We've had a couple. Alonzo Veneta went with us on 3 trips within 1 year. So that should tell you a little something about what we're doing here. If somebody's willing to invest in 3 trips in 1 year, and these are people, professionals. These are people who, medical doctor and professionals in their careers. We've had one person that signed up for 4 trips with us. Many people signed up for 2. They brought their family members. Now their family members are coming back. We're about to do a Zoom reunion where you get a chance to hear and see. So this is a movement that is beyond a trip. This is a movement that is bridging the gap on so many different levels. Bridging the gap within us in the African diaspora, those of us who are in America, so-called Black Americans. We're now connecting with each other on the continent of Africa. And it's not to connect in some kind of weird way. We understand that, and one thing I understand is that we don't all come from every place on the continent. But guess what? If everybody else from Europe can come and learn and see and have no problem and feel comfortable and walk around like they own the place, then we can do it too. So when people talk that, well, I don't know why you're going to Africa, they don't like you over there. I guarantee you, 9 times out of 10, they haven't been, and they're listening to something that someone else says. And when people come here and they see for themselves, and they're in the right environment with the right training and the right explanation and the right understanding, they walk away with a completely different experience. And so I'm committed to not dumbing down our culture and our people, committed to trusting the fact that we've all been given a brain and we can process experiences for ourselves, and we don't need anybody to filter that for us. We don't need anybody to come in and say, okay, this is how you should think. As a matter of fact, this is what I see, this is what I think, this is my experience, this is my interpretation of it. Okay, cool, that's what you take, and you go share that. So much of what we do is subjective, but we don't respect the subjective. And so we try to force people into thinking the way we want them to think, and doing and behaving the way that we want them to behave, instead of giving them the ability to do it for themselves. And that's the freedom that you have on these trips. Nobody's trying to force anything on you. Nobody's trying to make you see something a particular way. Here's the information. You use your God-given brain to interpret it and process it and put it all together. And by doing that, it's liberating, you know? It's liberating on so many different levels. So the other thing I want to just mention to everybody is the Reboot Your Life retreat that we're looking at in January 2024. It's going to be at least 10 days. It's probably going to be right around 14 days, because we want to give people time to unwind, unpack. You know, we maybe do a 10-day option and then maybe a 14-day option for people who can't get off that much time. But you'll be able to get all of the, you know, the heavy stuff within the, when I say heavy, meaning the content that's going to really help you walk away and say, okay, this is how I reboot my life. This is what this next chapter of my life is going to look like. Whether you're 18 years old or 98 years old, you'll be able to look and say, this is what it's going to look like. And for mental health, physical health, strategic planning, how you reboot your life, step by step, very applicable strategies for you to be able to live the life that you want to live. And a lot of it's going to go back to mindset, because I was watching some posts, I was reading some posts on Facebook, and depending on what culture you come from, especially if you come from a culture where you have people trying to tell you how to think, they read something, they interpreted it a particular way, and so now they have made themselves self-proclaimed experts or whatever, or they got in a culture where somebody gave them a little bit of authority, and now they're telling everybody, this is how you should think, this is how you should behave, this is the way that it is. Hey, what's going on, Mimi? And so, you know, if a lot of that's going on in your mind and you don't have the ability to, like, take that stuff out of there, you can end up living your life based upon someone else's subjective interpretation, meaning based upon their own personal experiences, their viewpoint, their philosophies, their ideologies, and you don't really develop your own because you're just following whatever it is they tell you is right. And that's, you know, that's really how social influence takes place, because people lack that ability to stand up to someone who may have a strong personality and say, it's okay, I can think for myself, I'm good. The fear of rejection comes in, the fear of ridicule comes in. So a lot of this is rooted in fear. When it's time for you to reboot your life, that fear factor comes in, fear of not being accepted, fear of somebody saying that they don't like you, fear of, you know, whatever consequences might come when you rise up and say, nah, I can think for myself. And so we help people walk through that. People pleasing, that type of thing. All of that kind of goes into the reboot. But once you start getting beyond that and you start putting into practice different steps where your mind is free and you understand, it is the most liberating way to live. It is so liberating when you can get people out of your head and you understand that at the end of your journey, you're the one who, when you're on your, if you have what the so-called a deathbed and you replay your life and you start thinking about, did I do the things that I wanted to do? Or did I, you know, am I here with a bunch of regrets because I didn't do it? And then you're realizing I didn't do it because of what somebody else thought, or because of it wasn't popular with this group of people or that group of people, or I wanted to do this, but I was listening to this person, and this person has so much influence in my life that they discouraged me from doing what it is that was in my heart to do. So sometimes we need a culture and a vibe and a community of people who are saying that, you know what, I love you, I appreciate you, but you can't control my life. And this is what I want to do, and this is what I'm going to do. And so that's, you know, part of that reboot. So January 2024, we'll be sharing. 9 times out of 10, like I said yesterday, it's going to be in Tanzania. If not Tanzania, it will be in South Africa. The only reason why I'm not doing it in Ghana is because of some of the mandates that Ghana has in place, and really it's costing Ghana money because like nobody else in the world is doing it the way they're doing it. But hey, we'll go somewhere else, and in the meantime, until Ghana, I don't want to have any obstacles for anyone on this particular experience. And so I believe going to Zanzibar would be really cool, and spending some time in Dar es Salaam would be cool, and doing a safari. I think all of that would be a part of that reboot. But if not, we'll go down to South Africa and we'll do something very similar. We'll go to Durban, Cape Town, and Joburg. So we'll let you know, and we'll put it out there. And I do know that for those who participate in it, it will be life-changing. It will be an experience unlike anything you've experienced before, because you will have the encouragement to reboot unapologetically. So that's the deal there. So anyway, these are just some of the ways that we're going to help you to travel with us to the continent of Africa, and that way you can put it all together. And as you're putting it all together, you can start planning and strategizing. And we'll do the reboot every year in January, obviously, because it's the beginning of a new year. And by it being the beginning of a new year, you can make the necessary changes that you need to make, and do the necessary, it's like you have that 12-month window to be able to do it. So, but like right now, we're here. Let me flip the camera around. You can see some of the group that's here right now. Families with their children. We're here for Lay Temple in Aswan. So this is what's going on right now in Egypt. Yeah. And so each one, reach one, teach one. We talk about this, and these people decided to invest into themselves. There you go, Alicia and Mensa right there. She brought her son. They came from St. Martin, down in the U.S. Virgin Islands. We have the LeGrand family right here, coming from Minnesota. And so these babies right here are having a chance to have this experience at a very young age. You have Jerry and Stephanie coming from 757 by way of North Carolina. And so the whole George Floyd incident woke him up, and he said, hey, I need to go see and do something different. Gerald and Gerald were with us in Ghana last week. And then Shauna and Vonda. Vonda was with us in Ghana. We have, who else? Aaron, here with her brother Rashawn and her mother. They're all here. I'm just looking through, just, all the different faces. Stacy's here. And Mr. Gerald right there. So when you see this, this is just a part of the experiences that we're creating. So it's really, like I said, it's a movement, and it's much more than travel. They became family along the way. Also stay tuned for June 2023, the Maximum Impact Success Academy, where we're going to offer practical resources for people who want to do something different on a family level. Many of us didn't have solid family training, strategic training as far as finances were concerned, and just a lot of different things. And so that academy is going to be there for families as well as youth and young adults. The Adventures of Darren and Destiny have more books coming out. So this is a comprehensive, this whole Maximum Impact, I don't know if I want to call it an initiative, or I don't like using the word mission, because the missions people messed up the word mission so bad. So I don't want to call it that, but goal. This whole Maximum Impact goal, if you will, is to be a multifaceted experience and educational experience, but then leisure, fun, and all of that. And that's what you see in these documentaries that we're getting ready to release. People have a great time. It's not just us sitting there and learning. We get to meet and hang and chill and all that. So you're invited. I want to see you. I want to see you on one of these travel experiences. That's the deal. And all you have to do is go to MaximumImpactTravel.com, and you can see what we have happening. If you would like to partner with us and create your own travel experiences. You can do white label. And so what white label means is that people don't even have to know that we're affiliated with it. We could just curate it and let you put your brand on it, and you're able to make resources from it. So that's something fundraisers, churches, organizations, families. Maybe you want to do a destination wedding, destination birthday party, destination retreat. Just want to hang out with your family and friends somewhere, and you want to know that you're connecting with people who know your culture and what you're looking for. All of that is a part of what we do, and so now let me say this for somebody who might be watching, who might be thinking in terms, again, just to remind everybody, we're not the low budget company. So, and we're not the company that you're not going to take advantage of us and try to, so if that's what your angle is, don't even waste your time, don't waste our time. But if you're somebody who's looking for quality and being in rest and be the ability to rest assured that you're going to be taken care of and safety is going to be at the forefront of what we're doing, and professionalism and all of those different things to make sure a customer service and to making sure that your experience is right and you understand that that does come with a value, then this would be a good fit for you. This would be a fit where you could rest assured and we can think for you and put together a package for you that allows you to just show up and enjoy. Relax and enjoy. That's my favorite saying. So check out some other videos and testimonials. You'll see what other people have had to say about what we do. I'm fully confident in what we deliver because this is coming from the heart. This is coming from a place where I want us to have these experiences just like everybody else in the world does. When I come and I see everybody else, without a care in the world, I want us to have that same experience. Anybody who comes as a part of the Maximum Impact travel experience, I want you to have that experience. If you're one of our travel partners, I want you to have that experience. I want to represent your brand. I want to make sure that our team represents your brand so that you look good. So then people say, well, that's what we've done with Urban Intellectuals, the partnership that we have with them. We treat their clients as if they're our clients. And for those who understand the partnership, they're like, wow, this is amazing to see. And so if you're a company out there or an influencer or someone who, maybe travel isn't your thing, but you have influence with a lot of people, well, that can become very lucrative for you. We can talk about that. If you're, someone who maybe you're just a solo traveler and you're worried about traveling alone. When you travel with us, you're not traveling alone. Even if you're on a tour with a small amount of people, you're not by yourself, because the way that our team is set up is that your safety and your protection comes first and foremost. So you don't have to worry about these things. We understand the narratives that have been sold in the West about the continent of Africa by design. Those who descend from this continent have been discouraged from coming, while everyone else who doesn't descend, is directly, I should say, come with no problem and have the time in their lives and build their fortunes and live. But in the meantime, we're stuck back on inside of the borders of our mind, afraid to come see. And there's nothing to be afraid of, nothing more to be afraid of than where we live. Let me say that. So some of these cities in America, you got to be careful. And we can't even see the shootings everywhere and all kind of stuff going on. But when you come here, it's just like people's blood pressure goes down, people find peace, people find something they didn't know existed. And that all it takes is being exposed to it. And once you're exposed to it, who knows where it goes from there. I was exposed to it in 2018, November 2018, almost to the day. And now my whole life has changed. I didn't see it coming, but if I stayed in DC doing the same old thing that I've been doing all that time, worried about what people are going to think, worried about what people are going to say, I'd still be stuck doing that same thing right now, frustrated, plateaued out, approaching half a century, trying to figure out what in the world, this all my life is. I'm just going to do this routine and then just drop dead. Is that how this works? Or am I going to explore the world, and when the time is up, I can look back and say, nope, I have no regrets. I saw this, I saw that. What a great ride it was. On to the next. And that's the vibe. That's exactly what we do here. And so people click, they hear it. They're like, look, I'm ready to make a move. I'm ready to do this thing. And they're not disappointed because they know that this is done with care. This is done with attention to detail and thought, and not with just herding people through and just trying to get numbers through. Just get them through there. Just herd the people through. Now, we have large numbers, but we care for each person the same way. And so I attribute that to my summer camp, life camp, I work with thousands of children over 12 summers. The highest year we had was in 2008. We had 260 children for 9 weeks, 11 hours a day for 9 weeks, from ages 4 to 14. And we didn't have any fatalities. We didn't have any missing children. And so over that whole time frame, I'm proud of that record. And so we bring that same vibe to these tours to different parts of the world. I attribute Life Camp give it the credit for training me to be able to think about, adults and children are really no different, So making sure that everything is on point and making sure that, that those different things, the needs are met along the way. And so that's what you experience. So it's not like we're rookies at it, even though traveling to Africa was new in 2018, but serving people is not new. And that's something I've done for, more than 25 years, and understanding that. And I think that's what people feel. People can feel that they're just not a number. They can feel that somebody cares for them and wants them to have a great time. And that's why when it comes to the Maximum Impact experience, that's what I know you'll get. Whether you are a partner or you're a solo traveler, whether you're someone who's never traveled internationally before, all of these are part of the Maximum Impact travel experience. And so if you follow our system and follow our strategies, then you'll be okay. And I tell people, anytime you're in business, you have people who always want to try to change your system and want to try to, hustle you and all of that. And so we catch them too. So, we see when people are trying to hustle us at the same time. Please, if you're trying to hustle us, don't even waste your time. don't even do it. It's not even worth it because you're going to lose. It's not going to work. So, but for those who don't even want to get into that and just want to have a great time, come on, be a part of this experience. And I say it all the time, it's the first of many trips, first of many experiences. And what we hope to do is to connect you to our academy, connect you to some of our other events that we're working on, and really bridge multiple gaps. And I think that's the biggest thing, being able to bridge multiple gaps. And as you bridge multiple gaps, you'll be able to see so much along the way. So that's the deal. So anyway, go to MaximumImpactTravel.com. If you do that, you'll be able to see everything that we're offering for 2023 and also 2024. And if you have any other questions, you can email us at info@MaximumImpactTravel.com. If you want to become a travel partner, just let us know. We're here, and more on the way. And let's see. Okay, I'm seeing some things come through. Someone said, you can hear or you can't hear? I would say turn up the volume, because I'm looking on my monitor right now, and it's actually in the yellow. So I would definitely say turn up your volume. But let me know. I mean, if you can hear me, let me know. Type it in the chat. I definitely want you to be able to hear. I'm not talking too loud because I'm at a temple, so I don't want to be too loud while people are doing tours, but let me know. Anyway, I'm about to sign off, but go to MaximumImpactTravel.com and you can send us a message, and we look forward to having you on one of our travel experiences. And again, like I say, turn the volume up. If you miss something, you can go back and listen again. All right, most appreciated. Talk to you soon from Aswan.